Hello, we're back. Hello, guys.
Woo!
Hello.
You missed a really exciting podcast last week. Yeah, Fraser couldn't edit it. I tried to edit it. I did a bad job. I wasn't happy. I wasn't gonna put it out, so we didn't do it.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah. So,
What a great
We-
job Liam did in my absence.
oh, you did a great job. He did a great job. We're kicking you out now. You're not doing it anymore after this week. You're sacked. Anyway, here's the results from last week.
Welcome back, you're sacked.
Here's the results from last week. Yeah. Apparently the meme's not showing up as well. Oh dear. Technical difficulties. No meme this week as well. Oh well, what a shame. Here's this week's games. Let's get into this. Talking about
I love how the quality that was already very, very bad has gone even worse.
it's the best kind of bad quality. We do actually care about this, don't you worry.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway, Tiger My Bone versus Orcs Ripper. I had the pleasure of watching this game. Let's just go with there's some interesting dice at some points. Bones take Satek, a bribe, and a wizard. Orcs receive, so Donald Trump does his traditional waddle towards the ball. The kick's very shallow. Perfect defense favours the Bones. Orcs do secure the ball. Hand off to Donald Trump inside the cage. Satek comes, breaks that corner of that cage. KOing John Wayne Gacy. The Bones screen off with the rest of their players. The Orcs move the ball to the centre of the pitch, just off the Bones, just in the Bones half. But the cage is weak, giving Satek a one-die block on the ball. Only results in the push though. Next turn, Fran's zombie is killed. Fails the region. Hashtag fake skill. Liam also.
Big skill.
Liam also KOs Erenda the Tyrant as he's getting the dice, but he's not well positioned. Can we push the Orcs? Apparently I thought they can for a second. The undead push the Orcs back and keep it central. Liam pushes
The good ones with mummies.
The good they don't even. Liam pushes down the left hand side. Screen with a hybrid of a screen in the cage. Should be good enough. Alan cuts the opportunity off to go back to the centre, but Liam just keeps plodding through. A fireball kills Trump for the second week in a row. This, of course, is epoed. The loose ball is guarded by 2 ghouls and a guardian because Adam is unable to pick it up. Liam, on his turn, is able to take tackle zones off the ball, secure the ball in the hands of Jack the Ripper. A failure to dodge prematurely ends Adam's next turn. Liam snaps at this opportunity to surf a goal before scoring with Jack the Ripper on turn 7. Adam goes for a 2-turn score with the goal in scoring position. Liam does not apply pressure, which should have cost him. However, his prayers to Knuckles save him as Adam snakes a GFI on the line. Injured, of course. Second half, Tomb Guardians. Tomb Guardians, I've said here. Sorry, guys. Mummies fail to catch the ball on the line, so it lands just behind them.
Fucking Tomb Guardians.
They go to work on the line, injuring Ted Cruz, no regen, fake skill, along with some stuns. Adam is forced to burn a reroll and securing the ball, though. He spreads his men wide to stop any attempts on the ball. Liam tries to screen, but he's down quite a few players, so it isn't going to truly be effective. Adam strolls into the Orcs half like he owns the place. We are playing at his stadium, so he kind of does. Liam tightens the net around the cage. This forces Adam to go backwards and to the left, where the defence is weaker. By being weaker, I mean is on the ground. Liam removes a zombie, but is able to double base the ball. However, a simple dodge play allows Adam to walk straight back into the centre, where he forms a new cage, and all the Orcs are now out of position. Orc players aren't positioned well enough to surround the ball, so they go after a mummy, because I've called it mummy this time. Is that correct? I don't know, but only rolls a push. The ball is paraded downfield with no pressure on route. Adam, no pressure on Adam on route. Adam nicely screens off the ball. Lim applies a little bit of pressure where possible, but is not able to stop the score. Adam does choose to delay though, settling for the draw. After the failure to score at the end of the first half. There are many bashes of inconsequence in the middle of the pitch. Notably, Jack the Ripper elves his way to a 1-die, which only results in a block with tackles and a tackle zone on the ball carrier. It's pushed away next turn. Adam scores on turn 15. A quick snap helps Liam in attempt to score a 2-turn touchdown. Kills and injures 2 zombies on the line. Regen works half the time. And the third is removed for the KO. The pass play works, leaves Jack the Ripper, but it does leave Jack the Ripper exposed. Doesn't end the scoring chance though, as there is a secondary blitzer in scoring position, though Liam doesn't seem to go for the handoff to go for the score attempt, and instead results in goes for a foul. Player sent off, 1-1 full time.
Maybe a little bit greedy casualty front.
Pardon?
Maybe a little bit greedy on the casualty front.
Well, I would always choose on turn 16. I think I'd always choose to go for a score attempt, however unlikely. Then go for a foul. I think. It just seems like winning the game is more important than fouling over a zombie. I think it might have been a goal to be fair, but yeah, I did get a little bit.
Still, like, yeah, even getting permanent damage on a team is not as good as getting wins and getting touchdowns and everything. So I don't know.
I ain't good at math. That's untrue, but 3 is bigger than 1.
Orc smash.
Orc smash, though, I guess. Let's look at the SPP. We can see.
You may not be good at math, but orcs are even worse.
SPP, you can see that Liam's getting quite a lot of SPP for an orc team. They think they're fucking elves with numbers like that.
Orc smash.
The pretentiousness of it all. They think they're elves.
So snobby. So snobby. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the dice rolls. We're looking at Tuck My Bones of dice first. Armor's probably fine. I don't know. Pickups, within reason. Wake up from KOs, within reason. Regen, they're not bad considering. Considering it doesn't.
Considering, you know, it's a piece of fake skill that doesn't exist and doesn't ever do anything and sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, considering it worked 2 times.
Oh. Should more, but margin of whatever.
Margin of your mum, I guess.
Your mummy. Oh.
Yeah.
Such a
Look at his block dice. His block dice seem to be fine, but 1 double skulls. Hannibal. Oh, the horror, the eternal. Rolled both down, so effectively 1 double skulls. Orc Ripper. You can see their dice equally fine.
Yeah, both suffered in the casualty department, as you said at the start.
Yeah. We're going to jump on to their teams. We're going to look at Tug on My Bone first. 12:30 TV now. They are creeping up like the undead that they are. Yes, they are called mummies.
Yeah.
I did get it right at least once, right? I'm just...
Undead, necromantic, Khemri, they've all got bones.
Underworld.
Underworld.
Anyway, I am just secretly just trying to get onto Spike OVH so I can tell you what the level ups were. And it was a waste of time because there's no level ups on Tug My Bone.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, it didn't look like it, but I wasn't going to say it without that.
It's half decent looking team. Looks alright. It's got
solid.
It's got movement. It's got guard. It's got lots of guard. I say lots.
It's got enough guard,
but it's got enough guard.
I reckon.
It's got tackle just because. Okay, right. Tackle, bad skill. No one should ever take it. I hate tackle and it sucks.
He's only saying that because he's got dodge. Anyway, Orc Ripper.
Play elf.
All
elves, no tackle.
Have definitely got a level up. Orc Ripper definitely got a level up. They got 2 level ups, in fact. which is rare for Liam, getting Norks. And we have got a secondary ball carrier with Jack the Ripper. Oh boy, that seems interesting. I like it.
Woo!
And then Hannibal Lecter has got Dirty Player. Yes! Blood! 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 Blood!
Blood for the blood god and skulls for the skull throne.
Sure. Corn doesn't exist in Blood
He
Bowl
started
2.
it.
Yeah, because it seems still...
You can choose Frenzy and all your players if you want.
I mean, I'd hire a lineman because he's in a position where if he loses a player or two, he's outnumbered.
I think for such an experienced team and such a high team value, having 11 players is
Such a high
risky.
team value. Oh, he got to like 2,000 at one point.
Yeah, it's been dripping down this season.
Yeah, it's... Get a bench. Get a bench.
I had nothing to do with that, but we don't know.
Mm.
We've lost that evidence.
The big DT having a movement down is not so nice.
Yeah,
That's
because now it's
a bit concerning.
what is it, 40k of bloat, 30k of bloat with that extra
Basically.
movement that got removed.
And also removes a lot of the utility of having a movement 6 thrower with the strength and the edge. It really starts to slow you down.
Yeah,
you get outmoved by basically everything.
Yeah,
he's still
sort of good Camry.
I mean, it's still a good team. It's still a good team. It's just in a fragile state. Anyway, back to the schedule. Next game, Killing Jokes versus Undercity Vermin. Which one of you two had the pleasure of this game?
I think it was me. So yeah, I think pretty surprising result. And I don't know what the rest of you think, but I think this is one of the big matches.
Funny enough, Willem can vouch for me on this one. I did say I reckoned Chris would do an upset this week, didn't I? I hope he vouches for me, because I definitely said it in the recap that got lost. Because I definitely said I reckoned Chris would do an upset.
And anyway, so Alistair won the toss and chose to defend, and I think Alistair had a Bloodweiser Babe for a big amount of the match. I think there was a glitch on my recap thing, my replay thing, and it kept on showing up as a wizard. So I think Nuffle was trolling Alistair on the replay. So I think there's 13v13. Plenty of big benches. Chris had all of his slow pieces on the LOS, 2 ghouls and 2 wolves and a diamond in the back. Alistair had 3 gutter runners at the back with the other players shielding him. And it all goes to plan for Alistair's defense. He gets a blitz. He doesn't try to contest the ball, however, because his gutter runners are at the rear. But he gets a push and rolls dub skulls on a GFI. So yeah, great use of a blitz.
It's
not
exactly what you want to see, but
turn 1 to 4, Chris fails to pick up the ball with laughing gas, but then he eventually gets it on the next turn, and then he slowly cages up. Slowly moves up with a cage, and then by turn 4 he manages to advance safely on his left flank. And Alistair doesn't overcommit, but he's a lot faster anyway, so he can run back. But by turn 4, he's only able to form a very light screen with 2 gutter runners and a line rat. And then the killer vermin injures Luck of the Irish, but Irish manages to regen.
No, he doesn't. He died because it's a fake skill.
It's a good skill for him.
He got lucky.
So Chris blitzes down a gutter runner, but plays it safe and doesn't choose to go for 2 GFIs to score, giving less time for Alistair to equalise. But again, Skaven. Alistair then on his turn 5 forms a very effective defence with 2 rats blocking the path for laughing gas, creating a frenzy trap. The other rats prevent any of the undead from doing much apart from 1 ghoul. With with that goal able to move freely, Chris creates a chain push, which succeeds on a reroll thanks to double skulls. Anyway, pretty decent play. And then he frenzy blitzes away with laughing gas against the sidestep gutter runner, but he only manages to get defender stumbles on him. And then he rolls. Oh no, I don't think that gutter run had sidestep. I think that's later on. And then he rolls a 5 to dodge and scores the touchdown. 1-0 to Chris.
Sorry, what, a 5+ dodge, did you say?
No, he rolls a 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember whether it was there or not, whether that was the sidestep gutter runner. Because I think it was either here or later on that Alistair could have placed his sidestep guy a bit better, but it doesn't matter because I think he rolled well when he's dodged. So
carry on.
It was either there or later. So Alistair then has three turns to score, and then Nuffle approves of Chris's plays, and he gets a blitz. And then Chris decides to go for a surf with laughing gas, which fails on a both down turnover, and then the ball was kicked. The ball was kicked deep anyway, so he couldn't get near it. So another bad blitz. Gutter runners do their thing. Pass, handoff. Finluch moves down 4 squares from the touchline, and then with a dodge, Evil Bunny is able to reach him. And then chosen poorly can also reach if the player basing him is pushed off, and goes for 2 GFIs. It's not that easy to defend against this team. You need a lot of players at the back, but so it's hard to know what. It's hard to see what would happen. Then Chris powers the line route off of chosen poorly, injures him, but fails on 1 GFI, no rerolls, and he is stunned. Turnover. And then the battle of the kill pieces commences on Alistair's turn 7. Evil Bunny is injured by a Skrook, but regens. And then Finluch safely stalls towards the touchline. And then Skrook is fouled, but only amounts to a stun.
That's a shame.
And Finluch manages to equalise 1-1 half time. And then the next half is 11 versus 12. I think Alistair has 12. And then another blitz. Chris is able to put laughing gas into position, but fails on the catch. And then the Rats manage to blitz the Wolf off and secure the ball, but Skirai, the XIV gutter runner, rolls double ones on the pass, turnover.
Skrywalker
is KO
Skywalker.
for his failures, and Evil Bunny picks up the ball and runs away with it, and then obviously only an experienced wolf can be trusted with the task.
Of course.
And then the big bad bunny stoically resists the blitz and is imprisoned by a triangle of Skaven. And this is the theme of the next couple of turns. The Killer Rabbit resists 3 more blocks, edging towards the touchline, and the Rats, infuriated, go for a 2-die against with a gutter runner. Maybe this is it? No. Another push, and Evil Bunny scores.
You called it everything but Evil Bunny right up to that point. You did a real good job to not call it the Evil Bunny.
I don't want it to turn into a drinking game. And then, like with some teams, there's like 1 or 2 players that's always in it.
Yeah. No, I don't know what that feels like, to be honest. It's
so each team next push. Each team still has 11 on the pitch. Perfect defense for Chris. Again, Nuffle likes him today. Both teams are out of rerolls, however, going into turn 12. Then Finluch picks up the ball and runs back, and then not much really happens, and the rats push down on the next turn. And Finluch hands off to Lightning McSqueak. Are the rats still gunning for the win? Because that seems a bit aggressive, but I guess they want to secure the draw. And then with that handoff, Lightning can be served by the bunny on a 3+ dodge with a reroll, and then Chris can get a 2-die with that if his ghoul dodges to prevent an assist, or if his zombie GFIs. Chris decides to go with the GFI and fails. So the rats play pays off. Great play.
But surf.
So why no surf?
Why no surf? Want surf.
In Surf and Trust. Surfing.
So McSqueak runs down to score. He succeeds on the first GFI, but encounters the infamous tripwire Nuffle has littered throughout this game and falls over, turnover.
Oof.
And then Chris makes worm food into worm food with laughing gas. Another recruit for the undead, and the bunny that is evil dodges out but fails to pick up the ball. The ball gets thrown in and out, and eventually lands favorably for the rats near 2 gutter runners in scoring position. Fatim the Quick picks up the ball and scores 2-2 as planned.
Everything according to the great plan.
Yeah. Just give Chris 2 turns to score. That was the plan. So Chris is unable to make much yardage with the time allowed, and then he fails a 3-die with his flash column. So
Oof.
I think 2-2 is fairly fitting result, to be honest. Both teams played pretty well. I'd say Alistair was a bit unlucky on some of the blitzes, but then again, he got a blitz against Chris.
Both coaches got a blitz, didn't they? So
and gutter runners are very hard to defend against.
Yeah.
So what can you do? Well, I think Chris played very well. So
let's pop into statistics. We didn't pop up the statistics in the last game, but this game we can see the Killing Jokes have more ball possession, but of course the Rats are one of those teams that can score with 0% ball possession. Popping into SPP. Good numbers. Laughing Gas getting the lion's share for the Killing Jokes. 15 SPP for the Killing Jokes in total. 16 for the Vermin, so they're just edging it, but it gets a draw anyway. Looking at dice rolls, we can see that's some good dodge rolls for Chris.
That is, yeah. That's, well, I mean, it's a low amount of dice rolled, so it's a low group to be looking at, but it's.
I mean, yeah, armor's a bit unlucky, but I suspect Claw and Mighty Blow had something to do with that.
Yeah, a lot of blocks were done with Claw, Mighty Blow.
Yeah, because there was a lot of Claw in this game, and then of course regeneration working twice, which is outrageous. How dare it? Block dice.
Lightning bolt failing is annoying, but
yes, he did have. Yeah.
I did miss it.
Turns out he did have a wizard.
Oh, what poor commentary by.
Yeah, I was going to point out because I just checked.
I mean, it didn't work, so you know.
It was. He didn't have a lightning bolt, but he did.
It doesn't matter. It never works for Alistair. It's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, look at his block dice. We can see. Let's look at the 1 dice. That's the one thing that's really ooey and ahry. Wafer Thin Mint has done a 1 die. Other than that, it looks like Chris hasn't done many 1 dies. Good job, Chris.
What is Chris doing? This is
un-Chris-like behaviour. How dare you?
This is un-Chrisly.
But I mean, Alistair's got more 1 dies on the first page.
Well, if you're gonna play good against someone, it has to be Alistair, right?
I mean, yeah, you have to. I mean, he is at the top of the league. So if you want you bring your A game to play the top of the league, I guess. But yeah, let's go look at the teams. Actually, I did forget to do something. I forgot to look at Alice's D6s. So quickly looking at Alice's D6s.
Oh, that armor. Oh, that armor. Oh, it's beautiful.
What sort of armor are we looking at there? That's halfling armor there.
25%.
That's some armor value 5, huh?
Ugh.
Interestingly, when you do a surf, it doesn't ignore armor. It is automatically an armor break, which means it would count as armor.
True.
Which means it counts as an armor failure on the dice rolls. So if you surf an entire team, but don't break armor any other way, but don't break armor at all, it will.
You didn't get many surfs anyway.
Yeah.
if any, I don't think you got a single one. But
so that's not what did that. All right then.
So Alistair played very well.
Yeah, it's just bad armor then. Let's go look.
That is atrocious.
Let's look at the teams. The home team was Chris, so we'll look at.
Although, actually, no, I will admit, injuries being 17-2 is actually very favourable.
Yeah, but he is Alistair after all. So
yeah,
the god of injury dice.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Phil's the god of injury dice. Anyway, looking at the team level ups, we've got a level up for the Killing Jokes, and that is Laughing Gas, who is got block on the Claw Might Blow Elf. I mean, surely you need Sure Hand somewhere.
Bland.
It's an obvious skill.
So bland.
It's an obvious skill. Well, what would you put?
No,
Catch?
No, Sure Hands. But what I'm saying is just putting block on it is so boring. Sure Hands.
Whatever.
You need it somewhere.
It's probably gonna go on a goal. Anyway, we're gonna look at the Undercity Vermin now, and we can see that the team value is 100 higher than it was last time. Clearly, they've got a player back. Or they've
also still got 100k in the in the bank, so that's.
Let's quickly check the club before we look at the team.
They're not spending money.
Upgrade. I bet he's gonna. I hope he upgrades the stadium.
Oh yeah, like with that much money and that many players, stadium for sure.
Get a wizard for everyone.
Yeah, wizards for everyone. That's the best one.
And then I'll forget to tell anyone about it.
Right then, so
a wizard for everyone is the best version.
Level ups. Back on topic. Lightning McSqueak wrestle because you want a ball sacking gutter runner, makes sense. And the Finn Latch is now a standard 1-turn touchdowner with movement 10.
Whoa.
Movement 10, sure feet, sprint. Oh so simple. It's gonna be scary. And it's my job to
What
kill
a surprise!
Yeah,
well,
he's the premium 1-turn, and mine's the discount one.
It's the obvious choice. It's the obvious choice. Why would you not go for that sort of thing?
Because scoring 1 turn is not as useful as having other things, but sure.
I disagree. We just said winning games is important. We can't change our mind now. It's funny how Willem
doesn't matter if you score a touchdown in 1 turn if your opponent manages to score 3 touchdowns in 6 turns. You need to have something.
Anyway, there were some other matches this week.
Yeah.
No, I'm not disagreeing that it's a viable option. I just feel like the need to get a 1-turn touchdown is not that important. It's not that high on the list.
It can be a crux that you can rely on, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Alistair later down with this team.
We'll see. I think that's a very good team. It could be very good. In fact, it is very good. It's 2nd place in the leaderboard.
Anyway,
so I think
next game.
There's something going on there.
Fake Love the Pleasure and Forgotten Fraser Raiders. Willem, I believe that was you.
Yes. So the Leathers versus the Raiders. So going into the match, weather is lovely and the sun is shining quite brightly, to the disgust of both the rotting Nurgling fans and the beautifully pale Dark Elves. Starting the game, we see the Leathers win the toss, choosing to receive. Seeing this, the Raiders set up an asymmetrical defense with 3 warriors on the line. and everything else set up slightly further back. With the elves countering with a spread out attack, choosing to try and avoid combat with the big scary Nurgle people. The ball is kicked, and the cheering, or perhaps manic screeching, of the fans inspires both teams to gain a reroll. Play begins with the ball on the elves' right flank, and efforts are made to begin the push. A cage is formed around the ball, and things look okay for the leathers. The Scions of Nurgle begin the defense, and slowly and safely start to apply pressure, but making sure to keep the defense wide, sort of countering any notions of elf BS. The elves see this and begin to reorient themselves, pulling backwards and moving to the other flank, but not before niggling Pestigor Senior. Grandfather Nurgle's favorite children continue to apply pressure, not needing to act aggressively and merely reminding the Leathers coach that pressure does in fact exist, whilst keeping the defense wide and not allowing any holes to form. The elves try and find a spot, but the defense is just too spread and there's no sneaky dodge holes. Some unfortunate frenzying positioning on turn 3 leads to a weakened cage around the ball, and the Raiders manage to begin their move towards the ball carrier, assured in the knowledge that there is basically no escape for said ball carrier. The elves try and push turn 4, but a 1-dice frenzy results only in a push. So the situation was, it was a frenzy player, but it wasn't the second dice of a frenzy. It was the first dice of a frenzy. It was a 1 dice. It was a push. The reroll was taken. Now, the situation would have allowed, if they had just taken the push, the next dice would have also been a 1 dice. So you are not gaining anything by using that reroll. However, the reroll is used. It's also a push. So it's push, rerolled into a push. The second dice of the frenzy is rolled. It's also a push. So they're not able to use that reroll that turn, which is a big mistake, at least in my opinion. A cage is then formed around the ball carrier to run into. So a cage is then formed for the ball carrier to run into. The ball carrier is not in the cage yet. But a failed 3+ dodge by said ball carrier, with the reroll already used, ends the turn with the ball massively unsafe. So an interesting choice led to the ball being massively unsafe.
I believe we called that a greed reroll, I believe.
No, I would say that it was unnecessary. I don't want to say it's greedy because you weren't trying to get casualties, but I would say it was unnecessary and potentially shouldn't have been used in that situation. So where is it? Sorry, no, I'm out of position. So turn 4 for the Raiders. It's all going wrong for the boys in purple. Key players are based and pushed away from any decent chance of recapturing the ball. Piling on claims a knockout, and 2 blitzers are put in surfing position. The ball looks juicily open for the Raiders, but the Pestigor assigned to picking up the ball manages to roll snake eyes. Clearly, Nurgle and Nuffle have fallen out recently. Turn 5, and a wizard is used to zap a warrior next to the ball and to free up a blitzer, but the lightning bolt manages to fail, and all hope is lost as the turn ends. A witch elf was stood up. The lightning bolt was used. It was a misplay there because, as I basically every time forget to do, and some people don't even know how this works, including me. Basically, if you use a lightning bolt and it's not the first action on your turn is immediately over.
Yes, you have
It's
to
a
use
really
your wizard
dumb
at the
rule,
start.
but I always forget.
You have to use the wizard at the start or the end of your turn.
Yep. So this puts it in a really, really bad position. Turn 5 for the Raiders, we see 2 blitzers surfed off the pitch, although they seem to fall into elven hands and neither are injured. The ball is secured by a Pestigor and run down the pitch, well out of reach by the elves. The Leathers attempt pressure, but they're down 5 players and it's not looking good. Turn 6 results in more bashes by the Raiders. Not much else to say, really. Turn 7 for the Druki, and a failed dodge ends the turn almost immediately, but not before a Witch Elf manages to get around the loose cage that has been set up. Doesn't help though, and the Raiders set up for a turn 8 touchdown, getting it in the next turn, 1-0. Bit of an interesting first half. Going into the second half, we see both teams down a player, and the Raiders set to receive. The Leathers' defense is spread quite wide, although confusingly they have a spare lineman, but they instead choose to put the runner on the line, which is maybe not the best choice there, but maybe wanting to keep the lineman safe because it was a level 3 lineman, quite good. We see the Nurgle heavily commit to one side, and the bickering of the fans breaks into a fully fledged riot, losing both teams a turn. Turn 10 for the Raiders, and piling on claims yet another knockout, and their push starts looking good. The ball is secured and begins to move down the pitch in an orderly fashion. A dangerous dodge from the Elves and a few risky blocks puts a few people near the ball, but without the strength or the numbers advantage, they're quickly pushed aside and the ball begins to rotate. One dices and risky dodges are the key words for the Elves next few turns. And we see them attempt to break the stalwart Nurgle wall. Along the way, a blitzer is badly hurt after a dodge, and the ball is managed to... And the Raiders managed to move the ball up. Sorry, I'm not doing very well today. By turn 13, we see a blitzer given a broken leg by the flat and bloated body of Wee Man piling in on top of him. And the ball continues to move. Turn 13 for the Leathers, we see a Witch Elf try and get near the ball, but Tentacles does great work, and the ball remains only based by a single Elf. Turn 14, and the Leathers manage to get a 1 dice on the ball carrier, knocking them to the ground and freeing up the ball, which is quite nice. A failed dodge, however, sees a turnover, and the light defense put up by the Elves is easily pushed back. But shock, horror, a Snake Eyes results in the soon-to-be ball carrier failing to pick up the ball. Can the Elves capitalize on this? No. The answer is no. A good dodge leads into a bad dodge, and the turn is over. The champions of Nurgle score turn 16, ending the game 2-0. An interesting game. A couple of what I might call misplays, but played better than I would, and is maybe got a bit unlucky there. But I do think this was an interesting game to watch. It was an interesting game to recap.
By Fraser's own admission, he didn't think he played that well. So, this we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Fraser has managed to accrue some momentum recently. Let's hope this doesn't stop it, because I, for one, would like to see his talents grow, personally.
Oh yeah.
Let's jump into statistics. We can see that Nurgle, of course, had more ball possession. You wouldn't exactly call it domination. Could have gone, as you said, a couple occasions it could have gone the other way. Popping into SPP. Only 1 casualty by Wee Man.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't that big somehow.
Somehow Wee Man didn't ruin a team. That's ridiculous.
There were like 5 Pyleons made as well.
Well, into the dice rolls. Fake Leather and Pleasure first. Tentacles does its job, which is rare because it never seems to do its job. Foul Appearance.
Yeah, the tentacles did really well this game. Stopped a lot of key dodges.
Yeah.
And that was also helped by good positioning of the Beast of Nurgle. Like it was in the right place at the right time.
We'll see how much you're really stupid in a second. But also Foul Appearance, of course, never working, because Foul Appearance is the real fake skill here.
No, Foul Appearance is good.
It worked for my Nurgle team that week.
So and then we got Armor's pretty bad, but Claw probably had something to say about that.
And a couple of Mighty Blow and a couple of Piling Ons as well. Although I don't know if that counts in the armor front.
It depends what the Piling On is using the armor or the injury.
Right.
Injury's also pretty good. Wake up from KOs, whatever. Going for it, whatever. Block dice. Considering that's a low sample size, that's quite good. 1, 2.
Yeah, relatively.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. 1 dies.
I mean, when you've got a team with mostly strength 4 and strength 5, it's gonna happen.
It looks like, but most of it looks like most of the time it was against the Pestigors, not the Pestigors or the Rotters.
Well, I mean, he was down a lot of players, and a lot of players were just sort of on the ground and in bad positions. So trying to get on the ball carriers or soon to be ball carriers, I think it's justified, genuinely.
Okay.
Although, right, 3 of those by Frotterism against Chris Snodius, those were the frenzies. So
Yes. Okay. So that reduces it down by 2.
that was the 1 dice frenzy re-rolled, and then the second part of that frenzy. So that's where 3 of them came from.
I
Just
see.
get rid of your frenzy
Maybe a bit
mode.
unnecessarily.
Clearly, witch elves are. You're not using your witch elves correctly. Maybe
There we go.
maybe you should use them as catchers.
Oh.
Anyway,
Fraser
moving
is-
on.
Anyone's drinking along to this? You can drink now.
Floor Traders D6.
Nice and average.
Yeah. Casualties aren't good. Regens are fake skill. KO.
Armor is. I mean, it's a low sample size, but that armor is shit
Ooh.
for chaos. Also, not chaos, Nurgle.
Yeah.
That armor is shit for Nurgle. Pickup rolls also shit. Maybe there's a couple of tackle zones, I suspect.
No, not really.
It was
mostly.
just shit. It was just shit.
There was some snake eyes on the pickups.
Alright then.
It wasn't.
Block dice, fine.
All 4 of those were snake eyes.
Block dice are fine, but how many 1 dice? Because we need Matt. One dice. 1 dice by Matt. For sure. Anyway.
What a failure.
Oh dear.
Anyway, moving on.
Playing like that, I don't know if you're gonna get to the playoffs, man. Oh dear. Anyway, let's go.
Moving on, next game.
Fate, Leather and Pleasures. We're gonna look at their team first, and we can see
Yes, of course.
it's quite a few missed next games. A nickel on the good lineman. Movement 5 guard is fine. It's still alive. But no level ups.
It's still alive.
No level ups. But the witch elf, don't Google this, is 1 SPP away from a level up.
Ooh, nice.
But
Good thing for Fraser, she's not playing the next game.
but Hybristophilia is also down, which is the closest he's got to a killing piece. So that's good.
Yeah.
Let's go look at the Forgotten Fruit Raiders. They've got 2 level ups, which is very rare for this sort of this team.
Yep. Still as scary as ever, though.
Yeah, but they are on Chris Snotius, who got the MVP. So it's now a block guard, Nurgle Warrior. And that is the first guard on this team. Wow.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you don't really need that much guard when you've got like what 2 players with strength 5 and
1 at the moment now.
and-
Oh, no, sorry, does have 2, yes.
two players with strength 5, a lot of players with strength 4, a lot of players with horns. Guard is kind of unnecessary sometimes.
And the other level up is on Big Papa Gunk, who is now a Pestigore with Wrestle.
Restigor, nice.
Restigore. And we've now got the third of the Pentagore family. This time it's Pentagore Esquire.
Because Pentagore Senior died.
Pentagore Senior died. First there was Pentagore Junior, then there was Pentagore Senior. Now we've got Pentagore Esquire. Next week we're gonna have Dr. Pentagore.
Pentagore the Elder.
Grandpapa Pentagore.
Grandfather.
Anyway, we then have Meaning Ven versus the Knife-Eared Bastards. And if my calculations are correct, Leon, you watch this game.
Yes, I did.
Yep.
It's a treat. It's a treat, so let's put it that way.
It is a treat.
And that's not just because I lost.
No, it's also the first stuff was quite easy to make notes on.
Yeah.
So yeah, big matchup, fight for the top. So
Only if it
it's the
wasn't.
Blizzard.
Ooh.
And then it's a 12v1. So meme men with 12. So the men that meme win the toss and choose to defend. And the elf coach Supremus spreads his players deep, then decides on the half moon mustache sort of formation on his center, trusting his knight's 7 movement against the elves. And then there's a high kick, and the elf thrower Gifriel catches the ball.
Name your
If
players.
Yeah, I mean, wood elf is better than the high elf sort of names.
Yeah,
God, the high elves don't sound like high elves, to be honest.
they sound like
Welsh towns.
yes.
Clenefli. Right. Gifriel advances in a right-sided shield of elves. Yeah, no need to do these fancy strategy plays. Just block. block any way in. And then he puts his war dancer and catcher in scoring position. So Callum tackles the war dancer Marana to the ground and stomps him with chocolate rain, knocking him out. But the ref is a fan of wood elves and promptly rains on his parade.
Honestly,
Sending him off.
Chocolate Rain has been sent off on his first foul for the last 3 games. It's ridiculous.
I think because he's no longer a meme because everyone who watched that video wasn't even born. People today weren't even born when that video was about. So there's only a light screen against the elves with the wood elf catcher freed up to score on a pass, all according to some master plan. So the thrower goes for a 2+ dodge, 3+ pass, and 2+ catch, and scores with the catcher Trilhane. Nice and early elf score, 1-0. And then something happens. It's no longer a blizzard. It's in fact very, very hot.
In
So
the
hot.
words of Paul
it's
McCartney and John
sweltering.
Lennon, here comes the sun. It was.
Here you get fucked. So Mara, the war dancer, is still out. Good news. But so Callum cages up in the middle of the pitch and screens off any normal elf interference. The elves then proceed to screen, resting on their scoreboard advantage, and then and a dance ensues. The Brets imitate dwarves and move slow and steadily, one step at a time, making any leap cage busting difficult. But due to the heavy screening, any advances are difficult. The elves go on turn 7. The elves go for the Blitz leap creek, but fall, and have to re-roll the leap and roll a skull on the 1 die. And then given that there isn't much of a screen in the center anymore, the Brett splits down the 1 elf holding it, and then rush the loose cage down, and then the Bretts no longer have to fear a war dancer, especially since Nadamfel is then stunned by the stomping Doge, who is himself sent off.
2 fouls, 2 sending offs.
Sent off.
Don't do fouls.
See, I proved my point. Fouling, bad idea.
I think 40k to get rid of potentially get rid of 180k. I feel like it's a good trade-off.
Yeah, I do it every time.
No fouling. No fouling, bad. No foul. Bad foul.
Callum fouls, so you can do it properly, basically. So the elves try a 2-die blitz on Lord Tumbler, but fell on a dodge. After using a reroll on a floor pass dodge to cut off an assist. The Bretts are then able to safely blitz off the basing elf, succeed on the victory lap, and score with Lord Tumbler. 1-1, exactly as planned, sort of.
Exactly,
So-
almost as planned.
It was
Yeah.
planned exactly, apart from the weather. Apart from the weather. Let's just go.
Apart from the weather.
What happened next, Leon?
So, Callum's plan for 2-1 was shattered by having five Bretts having a siesta, opposed to only one Wood Elf. Very constitutional Wood Elf. You know that.
Which
Isn't
Bretts?
that-
Which Bretts were they? Were they blitzers? Were they linemen?
I forget.
I didn't know
I
that. I
know
think it was
I
two
had-
blitzers. I'm not sure.
I know
But,
I had at least 2 blitzes
Wow.
this next drive.
Yeah, I think it was 2 out, 2 in.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, that's
So Callum tries to free up more players, given that he only has you only have like 5 players on the pitch. By risking a 1-die blitz on the LOS with Lord TikTok. So I'm unsure what was really best here, but I guess
Clearly not that.
who knows.
To be fair, it was a miscalculation. I thought I had guard, but I never got I didn't have guard.
All right, fair enough. I thought you were just trying to free up more and more players by blitzing running back.
Yeah, that's what I was going to be doing, but
But
miscalculation.
I thought you calculated that doing a 1-die with go block, but anyway, it backfired into double skulls. So the Wood Elves then screen the blitzer next to the ball, but fail a 2+ dodge with a reroll, and then turn 10. Lord Tumbler rolls double ones on the pickup.
This is not a fun game for like either side, is it?
No, it is fun for one of the sides, don't worry.
I mean, you're completely missing the fact that he put his players so far forward that if I succeeded the throw that was going to be coming off that pickup, I'd be home and dry, and there was no way of stopping a 2-1. Well,
There's always a way.
Yeah.
It's elves. There's always a way.
So the elves then nudge Tumbler aside, pick up the ball with the line elf Halinel, but fail on a GFI. They reroll to succeed on it, but decide not to risk one more. So they wait to turn to score. Lord Tumbler dodges out and blitzes Halinel, who sidesteps to score. Anyway, it's 8v10. 10 Wood Elves, 8 Bretts, which is quite
Standard
lovely.
numbers there.
Consider,
Standard elf numbers.
bear in mind, I had 5 players on the pitch. 2 of them went out to Sweltering Heat. Or I think it's something like that.
Yeah. So and the knife-head bastards get perfect defense, and they put their loner elf next to where the ball will bounce, and then it scatters right to the edge of the pitch with 1 elf on it, or next to the ball. The loner elf is then promptly blitzed down. Lord Tumbler does something. He picks up the ball and passes to his friend Lord Reddit. Reddit isn't safe against the fearsome Wood Elves, who is then knocked down by a 2-die blitz from Nimhuir. The War Dancer Nadenfell does his war dancing, and with a reroll leaps and picks up the ball. And then Callum in turn is able to reach the War Dancer decently easily with 2 blitzers. He 2-die blitzes Nadenfell with Lord Imgur, knocking him down, but rolls another double 1 on the pickup. And then Daniel picks up the ball with Nimhuir in a tackle zone, dodges, quick passes to Mararara, whatever he's called, and
Name your
score.
players!
3-1 to the Elves.
I mean, I can't be mad. You know I can't be mad. It's a Wood Elf coach. I can't be mad.
Wood elves doing wood elf things.
Sweltering Heat continues 7v8, but the Bretts finally have a better advantage. But is it really? gets that value. And then the knife-edged blasters get a blitz. And then how do the the press do anything here? And then Daniel puts a war dancer under the ball, which is expectantly caught. Nardenfell is powed on a blitz and stunned. And then the elf bullshit fails. And Laranway fails to pick up the ball in 2 tackle zones, which is then caught by Lord Imger on the scatter. A handoff to Lord Reddit fails, but the ambitious peasant Stonks succeeds on his 5+ catch and carries the torch, invoking the spirit of many Samurai past and wanting to be an elf. The ball is very much safe at this point, and then some serious tackle zoning dodging would need to occur to dislodge the ball. And then Daniel fails a 5+ dodge, and then Stonks, the peasant that could, restores some dignity to the Bretts and scores 3-2.
Dignity.
Yeah, but
I had to score with a peasant.
I know, yeah. Could you really call it? Could you even call it a touchdown at that point? It's done by a dirty peasant and not by one of the
Now that
noble.
the peasants scored, they're going to revolt and kill all your blitzers. Stomp and chocolate rain. So it's 10-10. Nuffle plays a joke and gives a blitz to the men that meme. So the elves finish on a vanity pass and a score. So again, with the theme of these games, blitzes haven't really worked out too well most of the time.
Bad blitzers.
So there we go. To the statistics.
Elves one team that can make the lack of ball possession work, but that's still enough ball possession for the Bastards to score 3. 31%. Oof. Brett's not ball possession. Lots in the opponent's half, because just dancing a cage upfield is always fun.
All the catches worked, which is nice.
All the catches worked. SPP, proper elf numbers for the elf team, with a 17? Yeah, 17. 12 for the Meme Men, or the men that meme. I like that one personally, that was quite a good one.
The men that
it's
meme.
good. It's good as it's going to get. Into dice rolls. So we note that Leon did say that my pickups weren't that good. Yeah, they're not that good. But everything else is fine.
Okay, right.
Everything
Even though
else
you
is
are
fine.
down players, that is an exceedingly low number of dice rolled. That's Nurgle numbers of low dice.
I think my Croxigor picks up better than that.
Yeah. The intercept's interesting. That's a glitch. Me and Alistair were really confused, and we had to go back at the game and have a look. We might put a photo up, probably not, but it was
I'm confused about that. I didn't see an intercept.
I
think I got confused with a catch.
So yeah, the intercept check didn't. The intercept check was weird. It said I succeeded on a 2+, but it didn't say I succeeded on a 2+. It was an elf player succeeded on the intercept of his own pass on a 2+. It was very confusing.
That doesn't feel like a thing that happens ever.
No, my block dice are good. Actually, no, they're equal parts good and bad. Who cares? The one dice mistake in the middle of the pitch we can see. Other than that, things are fine. A couple more one dies, I guess, but I guess they might have been against the ball carrier in desperate times. But yeah, let's look at the knife-head bastards. Their D6s. Their dodges are fine. In fact, they're quite low. Their armor is actually quite low, even for armor 7. Though Mighty Blow did its thing.
Yeah, it's within 10 percentage points.
Look at that injury dice, though. I couldn't injure him.
Oh, look at that. That's what you want as an elf coach.
That is, yeah, no injuries whatsoever.
15 stuns. 15 armor breaks, 15 stuns. Oh well. Anything else? Pickups are low for wood elf numbers?
No, because he tried to pick him up in tackle zones and stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Block dice. Not many block dice, is it? A very scary.
You don't need much. You're elves.
True. Yeah, they didn't need to do much blocking these elves. I would say normally in a normal game you'd need to make more block dice, but as Daniel did say after the match, that was a crazy game.
Yeah, I don't think anything about that match was normal.
Nothing about that match was anywhere near normal. We're gonna jump into the teams.
I think he still rolled more dice than you, like block dice, than you rolled actual dice.
He probably did. We're gonna look at my team first because that happens to be the the home team. I don't believe I got any level ups. Despite
I can't believe how quick your your team value has gone up. It's ridiculous. It's super high.
I did get a level up actually. Lord Tumbler has now got pass. Hooray! I've got a passing elf again.
Finally, thank God.
Strong arm, strong.
And then we also have the elf team now. The knife-eared bastards. One thing I want to check, because we're discussing this. He hasn't sacked a war dance, so we're discussing potentially getting rid of a war dancer and starting again because he wasn't liking Dauntless. But no, he's chose to keep it, and he's now got a level 4 lineman.
Well, I think you should get rid of it.
No, war dancers are the best.
No, it's not to get. It's not because. It's the idea would be to get rid of the Dauntless jump up one, because Dauntless is a good skill, but you don't need it on 2 war dancers.
No, especially if you're facing Lizardmen.
Dauntless bad skill, don't use it.
Leon's agreeing with me by disagreeing with me.
I like the choice.
I'm shooting at everyone this game and this recap.
Anyway,
it helps deal with strength 4 ball carriers. Like, well, I mean, we don't really have any strength 4 players that are good at handling the ball, but it helps deal with a lot of stuff.
He also hired his journeyman, Chestnut.
All right.
Anyway,
it's not bad. It's not good.
Next game, Freddy's Nightmares versus Rob's Claws.
Well, sorry, excuse me, there's a yawn there. So we start the game with one team as clear favourites, although the matchup still appears to be interesting. We see the Nightmares win the toss and choose to kick. So, very standard defense, very standard offense. Turns 1 to 3, we see the ball secured and a cage formed, slowly starting the push upfield. This is turns 1 to 3 for the Nightmares, obviously. For the Claws, because they're receiving. Sorry, I was not very awake when I wrote these notes. Turn 4 for the Nightmares, and they actually managed to apply a fair bit of pressure, and the Claws' march is forced to halt, and there's even a small withdrawal. The back and forth continues until about turn 6, where Herman Munster, a block golem, is given -1 armor, which kind of sucks. From there, a hole is formed, and it's starting to look good for the Claws as they begin making their way down and across the pitch. The Nightmares seem to be unable to make a defense. They seem to be able to mount a small defense, but an unfortunate Frenzy actually manages to knock out a wolf. So it was a 2-dice Frenzy that then went into a 2-dice against Frenzy, which was a double skulls, which knocked out the wolf. Turn 7 for the Claws, and another wolf is knocked out, leaving almost no defense left for the Nightmares. However, an amazing dodge from Misty the Zombie, a 4+ dodge, on turn 7 leads to a 1 dice on the ball carrier, and it's a POW. The ball manages to scatter, but unfortunately the 4+ pick up fails, and it looks like the Claws can still score. Persei tries to hit Misty, who's standing next to the ball, but a double skulls puts the final nail in the coffin, and the half ends shortly after 0-0. After a tense first half, we move into the second, with the Nightmares down a golem, but both the wolves coming back. And it's looking like it'll be interesting. A defense in depth for the Claws is met with a surprisingly aggressive offense from the Nightmares, and the cage begins to be set up. Turn 10 and the ball is in the hands of a ghoul, slowly moving up in a cage. The Claws apply heavy pressure, but they're out of position and down a few players to knockouts and stuns. The ball moves up relatively uncontested. Turn 12 and the Nightmares spot an opening, managing to charge the ghoul into scoring position and basing several of the Chaos players. A slightly lucky 4+3+ dodge from Antares sees a 2 dice on the ball handler, and it's a POW, leading to Freak being knocked out and the ball scattering. The Beastman manages to pick up the ball after a reroll, but with no friends, he looks exceedingly vulnerable. He gets smashed by the werewolf, knocks him out, picks up the ball, and threatens to score. And then after a few desperate back and forths from the Chaos, the touchdown is made turn 16. A very tense game, but wasn't a lot to comment on. It was pretty standard. Cages moving around, some interesting back and forth, but there wasn't much to this game. Was interesting though, and both people played quite well.
Wasn't much to this game. I'm sorry. Rob lost the game. And he's...
No. What I'm saying is, whilst there were interesting moments that happened, it wasn't like every single turn, so much action, so much... It was very much a good plays, made at the right time, did the right things, couple of unlucky dice, couple of lucky dice. It came down to a few specific things that I mentioned.
Well, let's look at statistics then. We can see that the Claws, the slower team, have more ball possession, which is one thing that normally makes sense. But against a team like Undead, you'd think that they would probably come off better off if they had more ball possession. But yeah, as I said, interesting game. SPP, we can see quite low numbers, though not for the Nightmares, considering how you'd normally consider that sort of numbers. 14 for a Undead team's good amount. 9 for the Claws, that's good. So that's 2 injuries. One, of course, which was the armor down.
That's an unfortunate thing that happened there.
On to dice rolls. Freddy's Nightmares. Leon, you're the armor. You're the armor guy. Is that good armor for an Undead team?
It's not great, but Rob does have Claw Mighty Blow, doesn't he?
I know he has Claw. I don't think he has Claw Mighty Blow.
Not a massive amount. Yeah, no, there's not a lot.
Let me have a look. I can't remember how these teams got along. It's got 2 Mighty Blows and 3 Mighty Blows and 1 Claw. So it would normally be about, I think 73, 75%. With armor value 8, and he's got some armor value 9, some armor value 7. So, and then with the Mighty Blow, so it's not that bad, to be honest. It's within the margin of...
Within the margin of error. Everyone take a shot. Injuries. Slightly bad. Regeneration. Fake skill. Block dice. How many 1 dice is he making? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9. Tap, tap, tap.
I mean, it's weird because Barry usually plays super defensively and super safe, but
maybe he's listening to you.
Maybe he's listening to my advice, which is a bad thing. You should stop doing that.
Maybe Barry listens to your advice, and that's turned out that's...
I think he knows how to play you, Willem, unlike the person who faces you this week.
Anyway, Rob's Claws.
We'll get to that one.
Rob's Claws, we can see that armor's pretty shit, but I suspect Claw had something to do with that.
Oh, that is quite shit. So he got 2 Claw.
Everything else, I guess, is oof. Casualty, oof. Injury, oof.
Yeah, maybe a bit higher there.
Oh well. Block dice.
Although I don't think there was anything permanent, so that's not too bad.
Block dice.
Block dice, huh? What about them block dices?
Let's count the double skulls. 1 double skulls, 2 double skulls.
3 double skulls.
3 double skulls, 3 double skulls, and some 1 dice.
There's 3 double skulls, and there's also 2 1 both down, 1 skull against a block player with with a non-block player against a block player, so these kind of count as double skulls as well. So that's about 5.
Oof.
Yeah, it was not fun for Rob.
Bad day at the office for him. But Barry does bring his own game against Rob because it's Rob who doesn't want to bring their own game against Rob. Let's look at the Freddy's Nightmares team. They have got no level ups this week, but they have decided to keep Herman Munster, at least for now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say no because it's just not useful at this point. But yeah,
And then let's go look at the Rob's Claws.
quite a scary team still.
Well,
Like-
the Claws are a scary team. They haven't got any more level ups this week, I believe. But they still have those 2 strength 4 goats. They still have double mighty blow. They still 3 mighty blow. They still have claw.
But
Ooh,
no,
I lie.
no
I
tackle,
lie.
No tackle.
There was. Oh yeah, no, I'm looking at that now. But I lied. There was
There is a
there was a permanent injury. There was a permanent injury. -1 agility on the +1 movement ball carrier. I forgot about that.
I mean, yeah, still has a
I would sack
75%
that,
chance
but-
of picking the ball up. I mean, extra arms is still going to be a thing that comes. So it's like that. That's a tough decision. Do you keep it? Or
Yeah,
do
but dodging out of tackle zones is.
No, I get rid of him.
Yeah, I would definitely get rid of him. It's not worth it.
We'll see.
Especially how much
I
he
hope he keeps him and proves you all wrong. But
Yeah, this is still an incredibly scary team, and whoever faces it next is going to have a bit of a hard time, even with them this next games.
we really big this team up, but I think they're like 8th in the league.
Yeah, but they're like, it doesn't matter how many touchdown use. It doesn't matter how many touchdowns they score. It's how much damage they can do. That's the issue.
Is it next week? Is Anarian gonna die? All right.
Yeah, probably.
Right then.
Prediction.
Is next week.
Anyway,
Now we got the Bones versus the the Bones versus the Rippers.
And then we're done for this week.
No, Lizards versus the Leviathans.
hey Leon, hey Leon.
Hey Leon. Hey Leon.
Okay, here's the thing.
What's a cage?
Good point. Here's the thing. This could have very easily been 2-2, possibly even 2-1.
Yeah,
But,
there were 2 chances for me to get to.
Yeah.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this.
Dice didn't work. Also, Leon, you're a very good coach, and you're a better coach than me, but you need to figure out how to play against LPS, especially my particular brand of LPS that is even more ridiculous.
Your particular brand of LPS, which shouldn't work.
Hey, I beat you
does.
5-1 last time.
You did.
I need
That's
to remember.
impressive.
I need to remember.
You really need to remember how to. You need to play more 5-1, beat Willem 5-1, than lose to Callum 6-0. Right then.
Not again. One every week.
Wizards. Okay, right then. You two keep your mouths shut while I explain what you two did. Wizards for the Lizards versus the Leviathans. Wizard for the Elves, and they were on the attack. Elves on their attack do their classic over everyone throw to get the ball into a sort of cage on the left hand side. Lizard aggressively base the cage, but do not screen behind it. Normally here we would see the elf go for the score, but instead we see a bit of fry and Lizard get injured. This is followed by an elf being surfed and a chain push KOing down the ball carrier. An Aryan defender secures the ball, retreats, forcing the Lizards to guard multiple threats all over the pitch. Leon is able to get pressure on the ball, forcing the Wizard fireball to come out early, injuring Crocodile and Alligator. This, of course, is Apoed. Anarian runs upfield, but is not protected enough. Lizard 2-die follows, but this doesn't knock down Anarian the Invincible. This leads to some Elf BS dodging, negating the diving tackle bullshit that can happen to allow for the Shining Arrow to score on turn 5. The Lizards on their drive go for the push on the flanks before securing the ball. But Leon forgot the Oso Anarian the Glorious, allowing for the steal.
Anarian the Giga Chad. The absolute unit.
The Saurus comes back to knock down Anarian the Grounded, but don't pick up the ball. But he does not manage to grab it either. The Elves don't manage to grab it either. This allows for the Gecko Brothers to come and secure the ball and run upfield. Notably choosing not to make the GFIs, despite having the reroll available. Leon, misplay. The Lizard turn ends quickly after that. The Elves turn ends quickly as well, but William does say a quick prayer to Nuffle, and his prayers are answered as Leon rolls snakes on the final dodge. Sorry, the final go for it. 1-0 at half time. Second half, Willem gets a blitz and gets under the ball, and does the LB stuff that you love to hate to see. Anarian, the self-aggrandizing, finds himself in a herd of skinks, and the blitz on the ball carrier goes from push skull to skull, allowing for the shining arrow to take the glory for a second touchdown. Leon gets an extra reroll at next kickoff. The ball is kicked ridiculously deep. What a great exchange. Got a touchdown for a reroll. Brilliant. Love it. Double Skulls burns the reroll almost immediately. He's unable to secure the ball and therefore his turn ends. Elves go for aggressive, hoping to capitalise on the weakness of the Lizard's position. But the Lizards are able to bring the ball upfield, and thanks to a quick pass play, a skink pass play no less, and the speed of Crocodile and Alligator, we find us in this position of 2-1. You probably could have delayed for an extra turn, Leon, but
I can't get angry at any passing play. Any passing play is a good play.
Stunty passing play? No. The ball is kicked to the left for the Elves, which is their favoured side on their setup. Similarly, they try to do something they did initially on the first drive, but there's a little less security here as there's less players on the pitch. The Lizards stop the charge, forcing the Elves to pull back, and the Elf turn ends with a handoff failing. Leon gets good dice everywhere that it doesn't matter, meaning he is unable to get pressure on the ball, allowing for the Elf pass play into a potato blitzer upfield. The injury to Hope a turn later gives Leon a 1 dice on the ball carrier, with 2 skinks having to do the attack, and he rolls successfully, getting the power that he needs to stop the drive. The game comes,
which is really annoying because not only did I have block, I also had dodge. There was literally a 1 in 6 chance of that working, and it worked. But it's fine.
The game is now in Nuffle's hands, as there's no more rerolls. Anyway, as the game's in Nuffle's hands, as Leon has the ball carrier sacked, the ball bounces off the pitch. The crowd throws it in behind the Crocs. It is picked up by an Elf with a loner, who then gets injured next to the ball. The ball is picked up by a skink and handed off to another skink in scoring position, but this skink fails to catch. Turnover ending the game, 2-1 full time.
I would say I should have, I think, gone in from a different direction to move the ball in a more favourable way when I knocked down the loner Elf. So
Yes.
I would have perhaps been able to do that. To do that catch.
The dice would have let you win that anyway, though.
No.
Yes, Willem won that match. Yes, Willem got bullshit. But well done, Willem. That was terrible by you, Leon.
You should know better.
You should know better. You did sound very disheartened.
It was just it was all going to plan. I'm going for my top 4.
You did sound very disheartened after that match, because me and Fraser popped into that chat and heard you glow like, Yeah, good game. You were very
I got.
disheartened.
It's because I got lucky. I got really, really lucky. I did stuff that elves shouldn't be able to do. Even elves, even my elves shouldn't be able to do.
I'll tell you why you won this game. You got more ball possession.
Yeah.
55%.
Also the snake eyes, to get the touchdown. But
Yeah, 37% ball possession in the opponent's half. A bit of a domination, you could say. Ball spent 40% on the ground of its time on the ground. Ridiculous. Let's go to the SPP.
34 yards passing.
I mean,
Power to my game.
Two.
you're gonna get intercepted one day, and you're gonna go, oh shit. Let's look at the SPP.
No, I have been intercepted so far, even with the safe throw.
17 SPP for
I
Fighting
have
the
actually got intercepted.
17 SPP for the Lizard, 16 for the Leviathan, so elf numbers either side. Dice rolls. Let's not look at these. Let's just tell me, how lucky do you feel you were, Willem?
Exceedingly. Ridiculously lucky. Just
Good.
being. Well, no. Okay, I was relatively lucky. Leon was relatively unlucky. That combines into me being exceedingly lucky, if that makes sense.
What about you, Leon? How lucky do you think you were?
I don't know.
That was the correct answer.
I guess at the end with those GFIs, not the end, at the end of the first half with those GFIs, that's the only thing I'm really holding on to. Everything else, I think there were some skulls that I didn't like at this particular time, but then I rolled well at the end.
I felt you could have
unimportant stuff.
I did feel you could have burnt your rerolls. You had an extra reroll at the end on turn 7 of the first half, so I think you should have made your go for it then instead of on turn 8. Because not only does it mean he's less likely to get William's less likely to get pressure on you, it's also you don't have to go for it on turn 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go look at the teams. Leon, you first, since you
Not even going to look at dice.
No.
No point. We talked enough about it.
Yeah. Leon, you're going to tell us about your level ups and how your team's looking.
I can't even remember. So let's try and remember. So yeah, my team. So Blackadder, the famous Blackadder. The Crocs, he wanted to be an elf. I think this will be his last game.
He's going to get sacked, is he?
Even though he got 7 SPP. It's like, please keep me. Yeah, he's just bloat against the team with very similar team value in my next game. So I think I put guard.
You got level up on Conqueror Enthusiasm, so he's got guard. I personally would have gone for Mighty Blow.
Well, he's less likely to do blitzes, so he's less likely to block in general.
Okay.
So he's better as a support. But then again, perhaps I should have chosen tackle just for my next game. And I'm facing Fraser soon, so perhaps tackle should have been the one. But because I'm probably going to give, if I can, I'm probably going to give Planes, Trains, and Komodos dodge if I roll a double.
Oh yeah, obviously that would be glorious.
But otherwise, he's going to get tackle or Mighty Blow, and depends on whom I'm facing. But again, 40 Chokwala, I could also give him tackle. I could give him break tackle. I could give him guard.
Probably should always go for block first, I think, though.
Well, yeah, it just depends on the team I'm facing.
I would disagree. I would say that
you should go for guard first.
You should. Well, no. You should split your players between. So I would go with 2 block and then 4 guard.
Yeah. They just level up so slowly, unless you're very lucky with touchdown.
Yeah, that's quite difficult.
Yeah. Even Planes, Trains, and Komodos. He's 22 SPP.
We're gonna swap over to Willem's team, and he's got a level up on a player that he probably wants to sack as well soon. So the Leviathans.
Which one was that?
Teclis' brother of Syrian has now got block.
Yep.
I mean,
wait, you think I'm gonna sack? You think I'm gonna sack Teclis? Really?
I mean, I think you should be looking at it potentially when you get yourself a second thrower.
No.
I mean,
Teclis. Teclis is great.
He's a glorified orc thrower. Yeah, he's just,
with pass, strong arm, and accurate, and safe throw, and block. He's a good player. He's a very good player.
yeah.
And edge ball.
Alright, so you got
I've also got a new lineman, so I'm finally on 9 players again.
perseverance. Yeah, that's the word of the week. Perseverance.
Uh,
All right, there we go.
so that's one win out of the games I've played so far, and it's probably going to be the only win this season. But
Yeah. Let's go to the leaderboard.
Well played, well played.
yeah, no, you played well as well. It was a case of me getting good dice, you getting bad dice.
Let's go to the leaderboard. We can see 3 teams are on 14 points, with the Wood Elves, Skaven, and Undead sharing the lead. Then just below them on 13 points, we have Matt's Nurgle team. Forgot the Forgotten Retraders. And then just below that, we've got on 11 points, we have the Yorkshire Ripper and the Meemly Men. A little gap forms down to Leon's Flight of the Lizards, who can't actually break into the top 4 depending on results in next week. It'll take him at least 2 weeks to get there. But we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna scrape it.
Squeaky bum time, as what was that? That was week 7. So this is week 7. So we've got week 8, 9, 10, 11. 4 weeks left. And despite me last 2 weeks ago saying all the bastards have got a tough time ahead of them, they've done well. They've got a draw and a win? Or was it a loss and a win? Either way.
It was a loss and a win, loss against Adam.
So my one hope of the bastards flagging is not happening. So, and they did kind of beat me. So, oh well. That's it.
Well.
That will be it from us this week.
I'm still at the bottom. Yay.
Yeah. Nuffle bless.
Nuffle bless. Ciao, Bellas.